Hello everyone from the Coherence Meditation Gym or YouTube subscribers. This is the explanation to do the pineal gland meditation from Dr. Joe Dispenza. It is based on his explanation, and I take notes and share with you in preparation for our practice. We will do this meditation this upcoming Wednesday. So if you're watching this live, I hope that you join in, or if you see it, join the Coherence Meditation Gym if you're watching this as a recording on YouTube. So we have meditations every other Wednesday, every other Saturday. Just look up on the calendar and join the gym and stay tuned. We just did Blessing of Energy Centers number 8 last Saturday, and it was amazing. It was the harmonized one, and I was a little bit nervous about, I haven't quite prepared for the pineal gland meditation, but it's not about that in this work. And in this work, if we believe that there's no time, space, and space-time, and then, all these concepts about bending time and, tuning into new potentials, well, we know that everything is possible. So here we are. We're doing the meditation on Wednesday, and here is the explanation based on his explanation. And I always like to share with you that I'm not a Dr. Joe Dispenza facilitator or a certified person to be sharing this knowledge, but I do like to do this. I am a HeartMath certified coach since 2016, and HeartMath is very dear to my heart. And if you know HeartMath's work and you've been in Dr. Joe's work, you know how intertwined and linked these two, the Institute of HeartMath and Dr. Joe's work is. And so having said that, I rely on Dr. Joe's explanation, and I try to maintain the integrity of his explanation for us to deepen our practice, to understand what we're doing, and to tap into that mystical. With this pineal gland meditation is one of my favorite ones because of actually experiencing that door opening. When Dr. Joe mentioned, there's a door and open up the door. It was one that was a extremely impactful one when my experience in a week-long retreat and healing and understanding my past in 1 second and really releasing so much pain. So the pineal gland meditation and as we understand, and now as I look back and understand what we're doing physiologically, it completely makes sense, and just this being the antenna, the pineal gland meditation being that antenna that we activate through our will, through this process. So let's dive into it. And so you can pause this recording, look back, listen to it at your own pace. And my intention is that we get something out of it, to have a beautiful experience as we synchronize in meditation, or you do it at your own time. Okay, so the pineal gland meditation, it's 1 hour and 23 minutes long. In this one, we're tuning into higher dimensions of time and space. It's the sacred gland that allows us to tune into higher dimensions. And it is a biological antenna that transcends the information from the quantum field into vivid imagery. It allows energy to be transformed into chemistry, and that chemistry fits in the same receptor sites as serotonin and melatonin, but it carries a different message. So we can think of the metabolites of the pineal gland when activated as upgraded, supercharged these molecules, supercharged melatonin molecules, molecules. And they serve a similar function, but they are just more powerful. We start out like many other of the meditations by in the advanced work by activating our fourth energy center. This is a very much all this first part is very heart math like, everything in heart math. We start by focusing our attention in the area around the heart, activating this fourth center, this gland. So I love this part, and I can resonate very much with this part and how powerful energy center 4 is. So this is our center of oneness, our center of wholeness, our connection to the unified field. I love repeating that because of how close this is to my work, is that, we often forget how this portal, I like to refer to myself as a portal, is our connection to the unified field, the seat of the soul. Other traditions call it in so many different ways, but I just love that this meditation, we, as many other of Dr. Joe's, we start by centering our attention in this energy center. And where we place our energy, we know, is where we place our attention is where we place our energy. And we take a moment to lock into the center, to find it, to pay attention to it, then allow our breath to flow in and out of the center, but allow the breath to flow in and out slower and deeper, and more, and then more relaxed, and feel like we're working with our body to bring it to the present moment, that it feels safe to breathe and to relax. And it takes a little practice, but as we rest our attention in this center, as we breathe in and out of this center, he will ask us to cultivate an elevated emotion. I laugh, I don't laugh, but I smile because this is actually a protocol from Heart Math. Just kind of a side note real quick here. This is the quick coherence technique is breathing in and out slower and deeper through the heart chest area. Then we activate our regenerative feeling. So this is basically, in this meditation, we are doing the quick coherence technique. It's a Heart Math protocol. So I know that this is where we see Heart Math's work with Dr. Joe's work, being linked. So this is based on, again, scientific proof. And we know Dr. Joe's work doesn't need, not that it doesn't need, but we know that everything is based on science. But just side note, this is the quick coherence technique. Breathing in and out slower and deeper. Then we make that attempt to cultivate an elevated emotion such as appreciation, kindness, care, a love for life, joy of existence. And all he wants us to do is breathe and feel and sustain this state by keeping our attention on it. And as we create this elevated emotion, we create heart coherence. And the heart begins to produce a measurable magnetic field. Again, another very basic foundational piece for Heart Math's work and the research is that when we activate this energy center and we become, all elevated emotions create that harmony between the heart and brain, when we're creating this electromagnetic field that can be measured. There's magnemometers, I believe they're called, and those can be measured up to 6 feet or however these machines are able to capture the magnetic field. So then he will ask us to notice that it is within us, and that this magnetic field is within us, and then in a few moments to notice that it is all around us, our energy field, all around us. So then when we place, where we place our attention is where we place our energy. If our heart is becoming more coherent and we're creating a measurable magnetic field and we are becoming aware of it, then we are actually endorsing its existence and it's becoming more amplified. All energy is frequency, and all frequency carries information, and he's going to ask us to lay the intent that possibilities or that the mystical be part of our life. And I think this is an important piece, is that when we are in this heart coherence, when we have this electromagnetic field so powerfully present, we're aware of it, we're endorsing its existence, and now we have an intent. And the intent that he suggests, that he asks us in this moment, is that possibilities or the mystical be a part of our life. And yes, who does not want that? All right, so then the next, we're going to bless each energy centers. We know that, how to do that if we've been practicing, blessing of energy centers. If you need guides for that, I have now 1 through 8 so far. They're in my YouTube channel. You can look through them, or feel free to ask and I'll send them over to you. So we go to each, blessing each energy center, these centers of energy and frequency and information that carry their own intent, their own consciousness. They have their own glands, their chemicals, their hormones, and their own individual mini brains. And as we rest our attention in each energy center, we will also focus on the space around it. We know that particle and wave, matter and energy, a convergent and a divergent focus. The practice of doing this allows us to tune into the frequency so that each one of these individual brains that each energy center has becomes more coherent, and begin to translate energy through this individual brain and create more coherence that begins to affect the cells, or have an effect on the cells and the tissues and the organs in each area of the body. We can't do that in beta brainwaves. We can only do that in alpha brainwaves. And this is when we enter the operating system. So when we have become beyond that analytical brain, we're in alpha brainwaves. We then are able to enter the operating system of the autonomic nervous system. And this is where we are able to shift, to create a shift in the affect the cells of each energy center to a more coherent, orderly state. So then we start with energy center 1 always, and we move to the second energy center, but before we move to the third, we will do the first and second together. It's like we're connecting them. We pay attention to them at the same time, and then we move to the third, and then we do the same thing. So it's making that connection before moving to the next one. We do the one we did prior, but at the same time. If we've done blessing of energy centers, we'll understand how to do this. This motion of moving from one to another to the next. Yes, Emma, thanks for asking that question. Is there laying down part? There is. Let's see, then by becoming aware of the, and hello, by the way, everybody that's joining live, Kevin, Diane, Emma, Raquel, Sherry, David, I hope you're coming on Wednesday. And yeah, we are having it, by the way, on Wednesday. So we are then, we go to the third, we are where the pit of our gut, then we focus on the space around it, and we tune into that energy. And before we move up to the fourth center, we do the 1, 2, 3 all at the same time, aligning, attuning. And as we keep climbing to the fourth, to the fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, and to the field around the body, then he will ask us to lay down and relax. And we will relax for a period of time, allowing our autonomic nervous system to take the orders and begin to create a more coherent and balance and health in our body. Then the music will change, and he will ask us to sit up, and we will execute the breath. And I see your question, but I think, there's a lot of laying down and trying to do it at home. Sometimes I do these on okay. Yeah, I think, there is a part in this one where we do the breath. And I personally like to do it in a room where it's private, especially when there's the breath involved, because I don't like to be thinking about anybody watching me or anything else. I just need to be really deep into the practice and not have, the breath itself, it's so intense, and especially the movements. And by the way, I'll have a workshop on doing the breath, because of so many of us have questions around it, and it's something that I've been wanting to dive deep into that. So if you would like to attend that workshop, please let me know. But the breath is not one that I want to be doing in a public space or with somebody that in the same room that doesn't know how to do it, because of all the movement that goes on and all the focus that needs, and then the body does this really strange movements, and it looks, to somebody that doesn't know what you're doing, it looks really strange and really like, what is going on with this person? They're like possessed or something. So anyway, okay, moving on. We relax and then allow for the autonomic nervous system to take the orders and begin to create a more coherent and more balance and health in our body. Then the music will change, and we will sit up and we will execute the breath. And this breath is to pull the mind out of the body and to raise our energy, to begin to free ourselves from the past. So this isn't, the breath is just such an important part to understand what we're doing with the breath, I think. And so it's going to be a really fun workshop, because, if the emotions, here's where he says, if the emotions are stored in the body and the body is in the past, so we are beginning to free ourselves, but we have to do it with a level of intensity that is greater than the body as the mind. So with the breath, we're pulling the mind out of the body. So then we have to use our body as an instrument of consciousness to ascend our energy. So as we inhale and contract these intrinsic muscles, and as we learn, and as we've learned, meaning as we've learned by doing the breath, or knowing how to do the breath, that we begin to pull that energy from the lower centers up into the brain. He's going to ask us to hold our breath and squeeze these muscles. The act of squeezing these muscles begins to accelerate cerebral spinal fluid into the brain. So like that, I think we just have to focus on that workshop. But this is the again, if we don't know how to do the breath, that's what we're doing. We're starting with the energy to do the breath, energy center 1. We're intending to create so much energy down there, to move it up, by contracting our intrinsic muscles, moving that fluid up, up our spine into the brain, holding our breath. And when we increase what is, our breath, we then increase what is called intratheatrical pressure. I hope I say that correctly. Intratheatrical pressure. Maybe somebody else can type that in that knows how to write and spell that. But this is pressure in the inside of this closed system, and as we force the cerebral spine fluid into our brain, it begins to produce a mechanical stress to produce a mechanical stress up against the crystals of the pineal gland. I'll read that again just to make it a little more clear. So this pressure inside of this closed system, as we force this cerebral spinal fluid into our brain, it begins to produce a mechanical stress up against the crystals of the pineal gland. The mechanical stress then creates what is called the piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric effect, and now mechanical stress is turning into electrical field by activating an electrical charge in this gland. So there's a lot that goes on with that spinal fluid coming up into this center, activating those crystals, creating this mechanical stress, and then creating this effect that is turning into this electrical field. There's an electrical charge in this gland. So by activating an electrical charge in this gland, we begin to change melatonin into its metabolites. And the pineal gland begins to become activated. So the process of doing this begins to activate the pineal gland. So that's that is quite an interesting part to break apart. Maybe listen to it again. But basically, we're like turning it on with focus, with our attention, with energy. We're tuning this on and creating these effects, these processes, these electrical processes with our own, energy, focus, and that produces an effect in this gland. So, like, another just quick side note from having an experience with this meditation, it definitely does feel like there's like you feel something in there. Like, even people I know say there's like little noises that you hear, like crackling, like a crackle. So it's super interesting to hear about like the physiological thing that happens with this process that we're doing. So we will do this one song, and then there is a fourth step. After this, he's going to ask us to become aware that we are aware of the infinite vast space, and this space is the quantum field. And then he is going to ask us to locate this gland in our head, between the back of our throat and the back of our head, to locate it, pay attention to it, feel it, stay present with it, moment after moment after moment. And if where we place our attention is where we place our energy, we are targeting this center, then he will ask us as an awareness, as a thought, to move into the room of this gland. And as a thought, he just wants us to become aware of this blackness that we're inside this room as an awareness. Now, the pineal gland is relatively circular, and then he is going to do it. What he's going to do is ask us to become aware that we are in the circular room. We don't have to see anything. All he wants us to sense it and rest our attention in the center. And as we become aware that we are inside this room, he will ask us as an awareness to rotate 360 degrees in one direction. And all he wants us to do is sense the blackness that we are inside it. We don't have to see anything, just sense. The next step is that he will ask us to radiate this energy beyond the walls of this room and begin to raise this center's energy. So then energy and frequency carries information, and he will ask us to radiate the intent that this gland be activated, to radiate the intent that the doors of dimensions open to us, to radiate the intent that our dreams be lucid, that the veils of this illusion be lifted, and he wants us to do is to radiate this energy. As we radiate this energy, we will begin to change this gland's chemistry. Raquel says that you get a strong pressure in your head when you circulate around the pineal gland. Love it, huh? Oh, thanks for sharing that, Raquel. Yeah, it's amazing what we can create with our intent. It's just so amazing. But we know it's good, it's not like a bad pressure or like bad crackling, or it's like we're activating this gland that is like the one that connects us to this antenna that receives and radiates information. So in this part, he wants us to radiate, the intent that our dreams be lucid, that the veils of disillusion be lifted, and so we are actually changing the chemistry of this gland. The last step is for us to open up and tune into the energy beyond our head, beyond the room and the infinite blackness. And as we tune into this frequency, all he wants us to do is to become conscious of it. And the more conscious of it we are, of this energy, the more we are changing this gland's chemistry. We open up, we receive, and feel it from the center. We put our mind in this center and tune into this energy. Now the pineal gland is acting as an antenna, like a radio antenna or a TV antenna, and it's picking up information, and all he wants us to do is stay present with it, moment after moment after moment, and lay down by practicing this. And then we lay down again. So I believe there are two laying down portions. It's hard to remember, like being in that day 4 in the week-long retreats is when you do the pineal gland meditation at 4 a.m. for 4 hours. This is what changed my life personally, and this is what makes me wake up at 4. Because I want to experience that again, so it's hard to remember if, there was laying down, sitting up, laying down again. But in this hour and a half long one, or hour and 23 minutes long, we laid back down at the end. And by practicing this, we begin to change this gland's metabolites and its very physiology, and prepares us for the mystical. It prepares us to enter the realm of time-space, moving from space-time into time-space. And this is where all of a sudden things become very exciting. Yes! Oh my, and that's it. That's it for this explanation. It becomes very exciting because, like, once you have an experience with I mean, this is just, again, my personal experience. Once you have a pineal gland experience and you literally see those doors open and you're like, this is another realm, and this is like the mystical happens, and that your dreams be lucid. Yeah, you will never forget that experience. It would completely change you. And gosh, I know so many of us here have had beautiful experiences, and but it's just such a, again, a wonderful practice to come back to it and continue to seek the wonders of the unknown. Raquel, you're going to your first week long in August. That is so exciting. We'll have to share who, because I've heard several of us here at the Coherence Meditation Gym that are going to Dallas. I think that we need to just create a post so that the most fun on it. Like, I love when going to retreat and connecting with other people. You just become like friends for life. It's so fun. It's so fun. So yeah, I'll put a post out to see who's going, and just to add to the fun of connecting. All right. Well, yeah. So we're doing this on Wednesday. And no change in the schedule for July, as I may have mentioned before, and you may have heard. But yeah, looking forward to doing this with you. And if not this time, perhaps another time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come join the gym. It is a great, beautiful community from people all over the world. We gather and we synchronize meditation, and we also have other fun things that we've just July we started a coherence fitness training where we get together and share what we're intending, and in this community have that accountability, have those people that you can talk about what your intentions are, that help you stay accountable, that you can ask questions to. There's nothing like gathering with others where we can actually have conversation, where you can actually share your challenges, and from the mastermind, from the collective brilliance of all of us, support each other. And that's the intention of the coherence fitness training. And we also have some workshops. We did the creating the symbols, which was a beautiful one. There's a recording available if you're interested in that. I'll put the link to that if you want to purchase that. And we'll there's will be one on how to do the breath and all these other really beautiful topics to deepen our practice, but mainly to do it with other people and have that feedback and have that sense of community. All right, well, I'll leave it at that for now, and thanks for tuning in live, those who are here. Have a beautiful rest of your day, whatever you're doing, and just remember to always come back to your heart. Can't go wrong there. Thanks, Diane. Sending big hugs. So much love. Bye for now.